a Venezuelan gang has taken over an Aurora, Colorado apartment complex, and nobody can do anything about it. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a gang of Venezuelan so-called migrants who have taken over an Aurora, Colorado apartment complex. They are extorting the tenants who live there. So let's say you're just a regular person working hard, trying to scrape together money to find somewhere to live, to find a roof over your head. You got a place, you live in there, you're working, minding your business, you're a regular person. Now, the federal government says, okay, let the border be wide open. Your government locally says, hey, let's be a sanctuary city. Let's be soft on the illegal aliens, asylum seekers, migrants, or whatever you want to call them. Let's be soft on that and just let them come to Denver as kind of a hub place. Now, some are going to think that they're going to be fruit pickers and making the beds like Barack Obama said famously back in the day about the so-called migrants. But you got a lot of criminal aliens who are already criminals in their country of origin. You see, it's one thing to come to the country illegally and breaking the law, makes you a criminal right there. But I'm talking about your behavior before you did that action that's also illegal. Okay. What were you doing in Venezuela? Were you just hanging out, working at the fish farm? What were you doing? There's quite a few criminals that have been emptied from jails in Central America and all over the world who have been dumped upon the USA, the same way they did with the boat lift back, what was that, the 70s and 80s from Cuba, where Fidel, I believe, said he flushed the toilets of Cuba upon America. The same thing is happening with Venezuela and other places. Now, before I go any further, let's check out the firsthand account of a person out there in Colorado talking about the whole situation. Migrant gangs have taken over an apartment complex. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
What? What if I told you there's a gang running 2 apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado, right? And the landowner are forced to evict its tenants because the gang members are starting to extort the tenants that live there. Yes, you heard me. The gang members are starting to make the tenants that do live there pay them rent money instead of the landlord. But wait, there's more. The landowner, the landlord has went to the local police department. They said there's nothing they can do. They said that's a squatter's law, bro. He goes to the FBI. There's nothing they can do. It got so bad that the gang members are now securing the building with guns and nobody's doing anything. This is going on in Colorado. And now I'm not talking about any normal gang member. I'm talking about the Venezuelan gang members, the people that's coming across the border illegally. They done set up shop and doing extortion at its finest. Yes, this is already in Colorado now. Philly, Chicago, and whatever these Democrats want these people to flourish in, that's where they going next. And it's all predominantly black areas.
Now, I've been saying that from the very beginning. I've been saying that from the jump. When they bring these so-called migrants over, where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go to the low-income areas first, which a lot of times is the black community. So, Chicago, you're having a problem. In Colorado, you're having a problem. New York City, you're having a problem. I remember in New York, they were talking about this big dinner or like a food giveaway that happens. They have this big meal and they invite everybody in the community. This is in the Queensbridge housing projects, right? Really big project, one of the biggest on planet Earth, if not the biggest. Now, the migrants come in and they were ushered into this place. I think they might have sent 2,000 to 8,000 of them to this one housing project. That's how big it is. Now, when it came time for this feast, when it came time for this meal, they're battling over resources. The people that live there would get to the place about a half hour or right on time, half hour before right on time. The migrants are there overnight like it's a Black Friday giveaway. Now we got clashing. Now we got competition. Plus, a lot of them are criminal aliens. They're already gang members. They're already veteran criminals. So they're going to come bring problems to your place, including extorting tenants in an apartment complex for rent. Now, some in the comments before I continue, some say it's a good thing potentially because they could pay less than what the actual landlord is charging them, which is ridiculous, which is totally ridiculous because obviously these migrants don't have any kind of accountability when things go wrong. But I digress. Let's continue.
That's what they wanted. They wanted a fight within the country to transform the vote. You don't believe me? Go look it up. I'm just informing you. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's nothing they can do, to a point where the landowner is having to evict his own tenants because it's getting extorted. You don't believe me? Go look this up. It is happening in Aurora, Colorado. More people need to be finding out about this, because this is only working because they got us so divided. If we all unite and go against them, then change will happen. But they got us all divided and conquered. We just watching it like the domino effect. Boom, this city. Boom, this city. Boom, this city. Go look it up. It's getting crazy out here. Stay safe. Stay safe. And it's been your boy.
Definitely stay safe because it's crazy out there. It really is crazy. Now, I saw another video speaking about the migrants and what they're doing and how much they are taking up from American citizens. This one was from Chicago.
Can you tell me what's going on with the migrant crisis here in Chicago?
So I will tell you right now, I'm a person that lives on the south side of Chicago, and the migrants that have come in, at one point they were coming in, we were feeling very sorry for them because they came in at a time where the weather was cold. So we're seeing all these people in tents and all this and that, but then we find out that they're getting $15,000 in food stamps, $5,000 in cash. I work for a company, which I will not say, that they're able to come in and they're able to get internet and Wi-Fi and all of this for free because guess what? The government are paying their rent for 2 years. Why is the government paying people that came from another country rent for 2 years? Can we explain that? Because it's a housing crisis right now with multiple homeless people on the streets right now that I could follow and show you homeless people that's been living on the streets. So what makes the migrants better from coming to another country that they get all of this?
You know what's going on. You are being replaced. Didn't we say it from the beginning? We said it. You're being replaced. Once they open the border, they're going to come to your neighborhood and then they'll be the new people that live there. It won't be you. And they'll get a bunch of money. See, it's what I'm talking about. Reparations. It's a foolish topic to even discuss because we have squandered the opportunity. How are you going to get reparations for slavery when you are allowing migrants to come in? When you vote 90% for the party that wants to bring in migrants to replace you? Your cause will no longer be relevant when you're replacing this country. Don't you understand? It's easier to just not have you here anymore and not hear your voice complain about anything anymore than it is to fix or address your problems. So, hey, congratulations. Migrants getting a bunch of money, a lot of funding. I said it as I close. Trump offered the black community the platinum plan. Remember Ice Cube and everything back in 2020 when he was running again for president? $500 billion he offered you and your communities. Now, some are going to say, oh, it wasn't just for black people. Well, look, in the community, it's not just black folks that live there. You got whites and Hispanics too, to a certain extent. It doesn't even really matter. At the end of the day, the money was going to help us, the black community, right? But rather than us voting for Trump, 90% of us voted for Joe Biden. And Joe Biden comes in and says, hey, look, I'm not doing anything. When Charlamagne asked him, hey, what are you going to do for the black community? I ain't doing nothing, man. Check my record. Look, if you don't know whether you voting for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. That's what he said on TV. And what did we do? Go out there and vote for him. So rather than that 500 billion with the B, rather than that 500 billion going to black people, going to American citizens, it went to the migrants instead. From summertime 22 up until right now, thereabout, we have spent 450 billion and counting on the migrants. That money could have gone to American citizens, but it didn't. And now you're seeing the results. Whole apartment complex taken over. You're a black person in rural Colorado and you're living in a place, you got to pay this Venezuelan your rent money. Something go wrong with your sink or your faucet, oh well, you be all right. Keep giving the money to this dude. And whenever they need some more, they're going to have some more. And they're going to be in there making drugs and selling guns, and they're going to bring crime and violence to your community. And they're being sponsored by the government to do so. So I will hope that people that are watching this video who voted for Joe Biden don't do that again in 2024. Oops, I'm sorry. It's not Biden. It is Kamala, because they selected her, which goes against what you voted for if you voted for Joe Biden in the first place. So that tells you just how much they respect you, which is not at all. A whole 0 on the respect meter. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Venezuelan gangs taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado? How about Chicago migrants getting thousands upon thousands upon thousands of cold hard cash and free rent for 2 years? Meanwhile, you have homeless veterans on the street in Chicago sleeping in the cold. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm not surprised. This was going to be, this was the plan from the beginning. Everybody called it. Anybody that knows how these things go knew how this whole thing would play out. But again, I just hope that we take notice, we look at what's happening here, and we do things to prevent it from happening again. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.